All right, now, so let's take a look at all of the moves from free agency these past 3 days. Okay, so these are all of the reported moves for top 30 teams as of June 30th. Well, I want to say as of July 3rd, because today's July 3rd. From that point, June 30th to July 3rd. So, Boston Celtics. Oh, my Hawks have done nothing. Well, besides trade for Chandler Parsons. Boston Celtics, Kemba Walker 4-year deal. Cantor, Daniel Theis, Brad Wanamaker. Alright, so I'll say the Celtics, they're staying as who they were, playoff contenders. And I really do think Kemba Walker is better than Kyrie. I honestly believe that. I believe that. Kyrie has great handles, but I believe not only Kemba is the better shooter, both with the catch and shooting off the dribble. Forget about the percentages. The team he had to take to the playoffs those years he went, Kyrie wouldn't have been able to even make it, even make the playoffs. That's what I believe. We look at that time where Jeremy Lin was helping him. I mean, that was the only help he really had. I mean, he's had Jeremy Lamb as well. He's had Nicholas Batum and a good cast, but Kemba has never had a cast as good as these Celtics. So, Brooklyn Nets, they won Durant, Kyrie, DeAndre Jordan, Garrett Temple, Wilson Chandler. What else to be said? Durant's not playing all next year, but they're still going to be a playoff contender. Kyrie is still a great player, and the Nets actually have an amazing team. Spencer Dinwiddie is super underrated. The man could actually be a full-time starter, but he's going to be coming off the bench most likely. I hope he actually starts maybe a few games. Taurean Prince is also, I'm a fan of Taurean Prince from the Atlanta Hawks days. We traded him, but we got Cam Reddish, so it's not a bad thing. Oh! Wasp just flew in my car. Okay. Terry Rozier to the Hornets. That's all they got. It says wind up. So they wound up with Terry Rozier. He was on the bench. So, I mean, if you put Spencer Dinwiddie in Terry Rozier's predicament, he'll probably average 21 points. But I'm talking about Terry Rozier. He'll probably see a bump in his stats as well. I don't think he even averaged 10 points this season. But in the playoffs, he got, the playoffs last year, he got at least 14 points per game. So I expect him to average that 15, 14-point range starting for them. Chicago Bulls, Sadaransky, Thaddeus Young, which is a pretty underrated signing. Arginiak, hard name to pronounce, Cornet. Bulls had some underrated signings, some names you probably would have trouble pronouncing. The names are quite hard to pronounce, but the Bulls, I think their young talent they have already that they drafted, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, who they traded for years ago. Really, they're a good-looking team. I actually think they have a chance of making the playoffs. Cavaliers didn't have any transactions yet. Rose, underrated deal. Derrick Rose to the Pistons. That's going to be big for them. Tim Prazier's also good, but Derrick Rose is sixth man for the Minnesota Timberwolves, averaging 8 points. I mean, he should be starting over Reggie Jackson. There might even be like a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference next year. Indiana Pacers, Malcolm Brogdon, underrated signing, or signing trade, I should say. Ex-Hornets, Lamb. Let me see. The Pacers had some underrated people. I mean, these are all people who are arguably, some of the best players on their team, respectively. I think you can make a case that Malcolm Brogdon was like top 5 on his team. Jeremy Lamb was like top 3 on the Hornets. So, underrated. Victor Oladipo, if he comes back, should be scary. Pacers. Heat got Jimmy Butler. It was a little bit of a surprise when it was reported he wanted to go there, but ties with Dwayne Wade. He liked that retirement ceremony Dwayne Wade had. So that's what he kind of wants. Heat, Whiteside, ended up trading him. That's a remarkable deal. I believe they got back, and it's not even saying, who they got back. But they got Mo Harkless, I believe, but Mo Harkless went to the Clippers. So it's this whole trade thing that hasn't really been fully completed. But I also know they got Myers Leonard, so that's another thing. The Bucks re-signed Middleton. Yep, I mean the Bucks basically re-signed everybody and Brook Lopez's brother. So you know that there's that, and also Matthews. Now that's very underrated signing as well. Around 13, 14 point scorer on a good day. Maybe just give you 10 points a night on really any night. If he's having a bad night, he's going to give you 10 points per game on low efficiency. But still, underrated signing for the Bucks. Knicks got Julius Randle. That's going to be underrated for them. But everybody else is a little bit overpaid. I'm not going to lie to you. Everybody else got overpaid by a lot. But you know what? If they signed with a really good team, all these players would have gone to the Lakers on a veteran minimum, like $2.1 million. So I'm looking at this team and I'm saying to myself, if the supporting cast was on the Lakers, everybody on this list, they would say they're a championship contender. If you look who the Lakers got, you're like, why are they even in the news? But because they have LeBron and AD, they think they're a championship contender. Look, they can't just get Jared Dudley and whoever else is riding the bench and be a championship contender. That's not how it works. Let me see. Also appears Orlando. Oh yeah, from that Butler signing trade. Josh Richardson is on the 76ers. But Orlando first, which Vicks resigns. So basically, everyone in the Magic resigned. And they got Alfredo Camino. And we're looking at Philadelphia 76ers, Horford, even the Celtics, choosing the 76ers. So the teams, notice the teams he's beating, whether he was on the Hawks, he joined the Celtics. The Hawks beat the Celtics in the playoffs. And the Celtics beat the 76ers. That he's joining the teams that he beat to the playoffs. It's like the opposite of what Kevin Durant does. But again, Sixers retain Harris. So again, a lot of re-signing, pretty much everyone but Jimmy Butler. That's pretty much the case. Raptors, EuroLeague, blah blah blah. Isaiah Thomas, welcome back to the league, man. Hope you get big minutes. I was Eastern Conference. Porzingis resigns. Basically, Mavs resigned everybody. Even got Seth Curry back. Murray resigned. Well, contract extension, $170 million over 5 years. That's $34 million a year. Those math problems. Golden State Warriors had a lot of big losses, but they got D'Angelo Russell from a signing trade. Durant didn't orchestrate that, but D'Angelo Russell's interest orchestrated that. All the other names you're seeing on here are like C-class, even D-class level talent, so the Warriors didn't really gain anything besides re-signing Klay Thompson, which was a big win. And D'Angelo Russell is not going to be Kevin Durant, but he's going to be maybe a 20-point scorer for Rockets. Re-signed pretty much everybody. Beverly re-signed. Lakers again. Troy Daniels, Jared Dudley, not much. I mean, you're looking at all of this. Nothing much really matters at the bottom. But I will say the Sacramento Kings got busy re-signing Barnes, and they also added Dwayne Dedmon. So, peace to your brother of the Hawks. I mean, look, there's a lot of names on here, but the Jazz won. You know, Ricky Rubio to the Suns is pretty big. Portland actually did okay, but at the same time, not a lot. But the Jazz, look at that. Bogdanovich, Ed Davis, Jeff Green, Moutier. All right, y'all. 1 second. All right, look, the NBA offseason, NBA free agency is doing way too much. This, if I'm looking at it, this offseason has been super incredibly hectic. Day one. The rest of the days has just been waiting on Kawhi. There's been nothing else but where's Kawhi? Where's Kawhi? What's Kawhi doing? He's in a meeting right now with the Toronto Raptors. You know, all those other signings, Some unpredictable, some unpredictable. But right now, Kawhi holds the balance of power in his hands. Does he stay in the Eastern Conference, propelling the Raptors to championship status, or does he go to a franchise with no championships in their history, the LA Clippers? Does he go to the LA Lakers with a storied history and a storied franchise? And when you look at it, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, three-headed monster of LA. If he goes to the Lakers, if Kawhi Leonard is to go to the Lakers, we're doomed. All of us, we're all doomed. Because, Kawhi can go to the Clippers, and it's just another attachment to what LA is. LA is going to be the Clippers and the Lakers until the LA Clippers move out. But the LA Lakers always get the star. Historically, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal. And those were all trades. Those two were trades. But then we look at who they drafted. They drafted Magic Johnson, Jerry West. And this is just in Los Angeles. But Oscar Robinson, not Oscar Robinson. Everyone thinks of Oscar Robinson play with the Lakers. And I know it's confusing. He played with the Bucks. But I'm going to say, what's that one name that I can throw out? Kobe Bryant was drafted, but I'm saying Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor is a lot like LeBron. So Elgin Baylor with Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West. That was the big three, the original Lakers big three. So who would you get? Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain. Now those three didn't win the championship. It was only after Elgin left that they won the championship. So that would be just as big as those three, teaming up. Really, it's no coincidence Anthony Davis gets traded to the Lakers. It's no coincidence that Kawhi Leonard signs with the Lakers either. It's no coincidence at all. But I think the league does have a chance. You look at Brooklyn once Kevin Durant gets healthy. You look at the Hawks once our young dudes figure everything out. The league is in good hands. The Mavericks even have 2 MVP talents in Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. So the future is risen. Pelicans are looking great for a playoff team this year. But if Zion Williamson is already, if he's Duke Zion Williamson, high school Zion Williamson, the competition isn't as fierce as it is in college, but Zion Williamson could very well take his team to a top 2 seed in the Western Conference this year. You're like, but the Utah Jazz, of course. But I'm saying the NBA is still wide open if you look at it without Kawhi. But with Kawhi and the Lakers, there's less parity. What I mean by that is you see less of a showing for the teams that are in less of a situation where you can say they have multiple All-Stars. So if you're Orlando, you have 1 All-Star. If you're the Kings, you have to make your All-Stars. If you're Orlando, you have to make your All-Stars too. But it's like these franchises who are hungry for stars, who are hungry for championships, those franchises are getting no love. So, of course, the Lakers have starved for several years without even making the playoffs. But you got to understand, the Lakers will always be on top. Even the Knicks will always be on top, believe it or not. I believe Julius Randle could be their All-Star. R.J. Barrett could be their All-Star. But I'm saying, that hunger that they had this offseason. So you look at all that, I have to tell myself, with all these teams, the people are actually wanting to sign with the Jazz. A market like Utah. All these black athletes going to a place like Utah. You wouldn't think they would go to L.A. Who would go to Toronto? But you look at Kawhi, he has a chance to re-sign with Toronto and win them 5 more rings. So you look at franchises, things are getting better, but that one move would reverse a lot of things. I believe if they are the juggernaut we know them to be, the future might actually, get stifled a little, because it was like taken down a little bit by these Warriors super teams. So for this to happen like it is, if Kawhi signs with the Lakers, that's NBA free agency. That's championships aren't even won in the regular season anymore. Sometimes they're won in the offseason. They're won in free agency. They're won in the trades. They're won in the free agency signings. They're won in all of these deals. Draft. They're won in the draft. Especially draft. From the beginning, all these franchises are being set up through all of these moves. So you look at what we've done, the Atlanta Hawks in the draft, what the Toronto Raptors did last year with trading for Kawhi Leonard. You look at all these other trades that have happened over recent years, these other free agency signings of Kevin Durant, even LeBron James going back to Cleveland or going to Miami. All of these signings, that's where championships are won sometimes. But sometimes it's not. It's built in team chemistry, repetition. 2011 Dallas Mavericks, sort of. So you look at all that, the Nuggets have a good shot. But I'm saying this is going to affect the league. Ripples affecting the league. So everybody pray. Hopefully, no matter what, you enjoy the basketball. So, see you soon.